Hey guys, we've got news for Global January 6th, the first year in 2022. And to join me this week to discuss the new news is Elmsmore again, but this time he's not bringing the bird. So say hello, Elms.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so we've got a premium banner this week: Dark Visions, an event, a boss rush, a decent amount of stuff, some EX skills. Overall, this is an exciting week, which is kind of nice to kick off the new year. So the first thing is the standalone banner Neo Visions Taivas, who is a premium unit. So is this a unit you're looking forward to, Elms?
I do like Taivas as a character. Fantastic character. I'm enjoying season 4 up to now. He looks really cool. Is it a unit I'm looking forward to? I think he's, just like any other DPS. He's just another DPS who's gonna phase out pretty quickly, and he's a premium unit on top of that. And I'm not a big fan of premium units. So overall, I'm pretty meh, but I like the character.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty cool as a character. So for those that don't know, he is a premium unit. He is extremely similar to Arin in terms of like playstyle, gearing, etc. He's an SLB unit. He's fire, whereas Arin is wind. Taivas is a great sword user. He does bring great sword in peril, etc. He's a SLB, so you got to wait the 3 turns at EX3 or 5 turns at EX1 to get the good burst. The step up is a premium step up. It's a 60k for the pity, and after that, limited to 20. So if you go all the way to pity on the step up, you have to then do any future pulls on just the raw 5k banner with no perks. Just a little sad, but yeah, hopefully people that pull for him don't have to go that far. As far as the unit, he does have the global upgrade tag, but he doesn't have any skills that have been featured in the upgrade. And compared to the news, people have like researched it and all. Compared to Aphmaw's banner, where Aphmaw got his STMR upgraded, but not the actual unit, it was the same thing. So that's how it seems to be for Taivas, where the unit is not getting any changes other than the very standard global change where his EX3 skills in JP get moved down to EX2, which makes it cheaper. The card is still EX3. But the big upgrade that the tag is for the STMR. So this STMR is one of the big reasons Taivas has talked about, not so much for the unit itself, but the STMR, because it buffs the LB damage of all physical damage dealers if they use it. And this is getting upgraded on global. It's adding an attack buff, an LB damage buff, and an LB fill when used. Also, it should be usable on turn 1, it looks like. So, Elmsmore, I know I said a lot with this leaving you out for the moment, but for the STMR, are you going to be going for this great STMR?
Oh yes, absolutely. I will be pulling. Like I said, I do like the character. I think he's a cool unit. But yeah, I think the STMR is worth the chase because the banner, if you just want the one unit, you might get lucky on it. I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. And this STMR is really good. And for those that don't know, modifier boost kind of like double dip on skills that have like defense ignore or skills that are multi-part. So in JP, it's a 30x boost to the base LB damage, which of course gets then multiplied by all LB buffs and LB passives. But for a unit like, for example, star player Titus that has defense ignore on the LB, this will apply twice. For a unit like Sky that has a 2-part LB, it'll apply twice. And as Tojo pointed out on Reddit, on a unit like Olive, the original Olive, her LB is a 5-hitter with defense ignore. It'll apply 10 times to Olive. Unfortunately, Olive is still a 7-star, so even though this would make Olive's LB a 330x LB, she doesn't have Neo Vision's Awakening. Yet, at least. But as you can see, this is an overall very, very powerful STMR for those that care about the maximum possible burst damage. And you're going to be seeing this a lot going forward on rank 1 teams and Dark Visions, and probably Clash of Wills as well. Although currently the only LB unit in Clash of Wills is Sky. But for Sky, this is going to be amazing.
Well, we saw you use Moogle of Narsh Mog on the last cow, so maybe you'll use Olive with this STMR at some point.
That is true. That is true. 7 stars are making a comeback to Clash of Wills. I'm currently rank 1 with Mog on the team, and I've seen quite a few other teams sharing rank 1 that have used Mog as well. I think that is really cool that we were able to, for the first time ever maybe, bring a 7-star unit to Clash of Wills on a rank 1 team. That is just really cool. It's probably not going to be the case next month, I would assume, but you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, that really surprised me when he came out with that strat. It was really, really cool.
And as far as Taivas's TMR, it's a great sword with 100 machine killer, which is certainly great. But the passive 300 flat attack only works on Taivas. Now this is going to be a really good, even though it's a low attack power, the flat attack does make it the best greatsword in the game technically for Taivas. But for most races, in order to free up materia slots, he's going to usually want to equip the Great Sword of Faith from Rain and Fina, the STMR, because that one gives 100 LB damage. And even though it'll be overall less attack power on Taivas, giving 100 LB damage and freeing up those materia slots is really, really good. So most of the time, his best in slot is going to be Rain and Fina's STMR, but versus some races where he can cap killers, like, for example, Machine, I think Beast as well, he would use his own TMR, because that does give more overall attack power. That's really it to say about Taivas, other than the card, which is, again, another big deal with premium units. Here is his Vision card, only available at EX3. This is slightly different than the other premium cards. Actually, Orange is this way as well, so I guess they're kind of similar. Anyway, it's 125 attack power, 80% attack power, 100 machine killer, physical and magic, although, who's going to use a magic damage against with a pure attack card. And then 500 flat attack. This one's really restrictive to Brave Exvius male units only. So this card, Elms, great card. What do you think about it? Are you wanting 3 copies or?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm finally happy that they're going towards the JP stuff where it's not to like a specific unit only or a specific group of units. Well, it's still a specific group of units, but we have many FFB units. This one is male, so it's still restrictive. Like Sky can't use it, for example. But at least there's more options to use on different units versus like Oron's card, which is just for Oron and Titus, for example.
You see, you would think that, and so would I, and so would most players, until you actually look into it and you realize there is literally one meta Brave Exvius male unit, and that is Carton.
Meta, yeah, I agree with you, but I mean, for people who like to have fun with various units who still use, for example, last gen, you can use it on last gen if you want to have fun for a particular event, for example.
I mean, you absolutely can. That is completely true, but it's hard to recommend someone chasing a premium EX3 card just to toss on something like last gen.
Oh, for sure. No,
I mean,
you're not in that situation. I'm just saying, if you do have it, you can use it.
Oh, certainly. And I personally, if I end up getting this card, I will do crazy videos like old units and then deck them out in the best gear possible. Absolutely. But
my one complaint that I wanted to make, I'm sorry if I cut you off. My one complaint is the 80% attack. Yeah, it's great, but it really shows that it hurts on units that want to max out their LB and that can't easily.
That is true. But like I mentioned a moment ago, the only other unit in the game that even wants this card is Carton, and Carton loves that 80% attack, especially when he's going double hand build. That's actually a really good thing for Carton, because Carton doesn't want LB damage. So the fact that it's 80% attack is really good for Carton. Now for Taivas himself, it's kind of worthless, because Taivas, for those of you that get him and will realize, he very, very easily caps his attack power. So that's kind of like a... What was that?
Sorry, question for you.
Okay.
Because Carton is an FFB male unit, even in wolf form, it's still a male. Does that work on him?
He is, yes. Yeah, I checked. His shift form is still classified as a male, which makes sense. He is. he doesn't change gender by turning into a wolf. But yes, it'll still work on his shift form. And as far as future units go, Tulian, the new version of Axstar, the new version of Reagan, these are all male Brave Exvius units that would probably really want this card. Those are not specifically DPS units, though. They're like breaker support units that can deal damage, and this would be a great card on them. But again, I wouldn't really, for those like, super whales out there that, well, like small whales, I guess, that might consider chasing a second card to use on multiple units. Overall, this one is still very, very restrictive because of that male only tag. It's kind of amusing when you stop and look at it. You realize like we've got a ton of meta Brave Exvius units. They're all female.
Yeah, most are female. We do have right now meta. There's Carton. There would be Taivas, and who else right now that we have?
That is it. That is literally it. Like the next best one would be last gen, and he is so far from like the number 1 and 2 slots. Yeah, there's really just no male units. It would be great on Napi. Unfortunately, Napi's gender is classified as other, and as far as the author goes, she'd be a female anyway if she did have a gender. So, but yeah. Anyway, still great card and a lot of attack power. Another change is Guardian Blade Charlotte is getting her EX ability and Ability Awakening updates. This is the Crown abilities for those of you that don't know. I briefly glanced over it, and it seems to be the exact same as the JP server. So EX2, she gets auto LB, EX3, 500 attack power. Nice changes, not really exciting, but they're good. Her crown abilities, if you spend 4 crowns on her, it gives her a cooldown that at max rank buffs the modifier of her LB and gives her a Reaper and Demon Killer buff. Now, the thing is, her LB is upgraded. The base form is the good one, the shift form is no good. At max rank, it's 160x modifier, and then with the cooldown, it adds 120. So if you crown her with plus 3 crowns, she goes up to a 280x LB. That is pretty trash tier. That is really bad. When the standard these days is 280, or more specifically at this point, 350 is the standard, and 380 is the new standard now that we've got Taivas' STMR. So 280 is, for the cost of 4 crowns, is a huge what? Why didn't they buff this? Now, this is what the JP server did, so we got to blame them. But Gumi really should have adjusted this and made it more meta-relevant. They didn't. So what do you think about this, Elms?
We were talking about this before we got into the news. And for Global, she came late, and she came with no upgrades, so she sucked. Now she's getting supposed upgrades, and they still suck. So it's very sad for people who are a fan of Charlotte, that pulled for her, that went the extra mile to get EX3 for her, and that she, again, aside from having fun with random events, she's not usable.
I know. I completely agree. Now, again, just so people are clear, the fault for this lies on the JP server, but Global is choosing to not fix the problem, which is what I'm frustrated about. Like Global chose to not fix the problem. This is it's just too expensive. Like crowns are so absurdly rare. You don't want to use 4 crowns to bring a unit to be still way behind the meta. This should have been a free upgrade. Like they should have just changed her to a 280 by default, completely for free, and she still wouldn't be that good. But at least she'd be usable at that point for a free upgrade. But who's going to spend 4 crowns to give Charlotte a 280 modifier LB when we're walking around with 380 like Sephiroth, Tifa, Auron, Taivas? Now these are all premium units, sure, but 280 is just way too far behind. It's just way too far behind.
Yeah, and don't forget, for example, Titus. I mean, that's an NVA unit that was well done, and then an NV unit that's super popular is not matching an NVA unit.
Exactly, and Titus is 240 baseline, and now with Taivas' STMR, Titus is now 300x LB, and Titus has 8,000 attack power. Guess how much she's going to have? Not 8,000. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane that they do her so bad, but this is basically a forgettable update. We're also getting a Chronicle Battle. This is going to be against the Grasofi Omega. Hope I said that right. I probably didn't. I'm sure people will tell me in the comments that I pronounced it wrong. But the items are the Elmont Medal of Honor, which gives passives to a specific few units. It has no attack power on it, so this is kind of like eh. On the other hand, Taivas' Cloak is going to be best in slot for Taivas most of the time. It's 65 attack power, but more importantly, it's another source of flat 500 attack power. So almost always this goes on Taivas in every single build. Not much more to say about that. It's a Chronicle. You go in there, you farm it, you finish it on day one, you never go back.
I would call that a Grosaf, like a giraffe, but Grosaf.
Oh, is that what that means? Does that mean it's giraffe or something?
That's what I'm thinking. That's how I would read it. So I'm
the pronunciation. Yeah, I was like,
I'm giving you my interpretation.
Yeah, this is probably like a Latin word or something. I would assume. I have no idea what a Grossafi is. I've never seen that word before. I would assume it means something. I don't know. Strange. If you know in the comments, let us know what Grossafi means. And then the event is a Maul King event, a Destined Duty. It's, a Maul King. It's, what is this? Oh, I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, it's a random NVA that you can get up to Cleon.
Oh, this is...
Yeah, it's not NVA, it's actual just fragments. I don't know how many fragments, I'm guessing 50. But it's a random... it's a you choose which NVA fragment you want, up to Cleon.
Okay, is that in the news? I actually completely overlooked
this. It's in another tab of the news, yes.
Oh, okay, I actually don't have it open then. Oh, well, okay, well, thank you, Elmsmore, for covering me for that. Yeah, I didn't even know what this was. Okay, interesting. I don't remember this from the JP server. This might be a global exclusive upgrade. If so, awesome. Maybe JP had it too. I just don't remember. It's been a while. But that sounds really cool. Just free units is always a thumbs up in my book. As far as the items go, what do we have here? The hip flask. You can see I didn't read this in advance. This is kind of a starter item, not really great for veterans. And then the Elmont sword is a two-handed weapon with killer on it. Really low attack power though. Could be good against beast, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on the variants.
Great sword. And with the low attack that it has on it, and with no updated variants yet for global, I don't think.
Yeah, it seems.
For players,
a little low end, good for new players maybe, but yeah, and oh my goodness, that is a large list of bonus units.
Yeah, FFB.
Wow. Okay. And Braska. What is all? There's a lot going on here. Oh, this is like bonus stats and stuff. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
But what I wanted to get to was this. This is the EX stage for the event. It is limited time, so you got to do it during this event. It's for a Master's Crown, so you always want to get those if possible. This is a boss rush. It's a 3-stage event. It's an AoE fight. You've got, I forget the turn limit, 4 or 5 turns. Overall, it's not that hard. And if I remember correctly, this was another one you could cheese with Smoke Bomb. So you could just skip straight to the final boss with smoke bombs and then just focus on it. So overall, very, very easy. Or if you want to do it straight up the proper way, bring in AoE DPS like Carton, Sephiroth's base form LB is AoE. Taivas himself is, of course, an AoE unit. It's his event. He's great for it. Overall, yeah, it's a pretty easy EX stage, but, it's something to do. I'll be doing it on Thursday. What about you, Elms? Who do you usually bring for these like EX stages? Your favorite, just quick OTK team or whatever?
Just like you, TKO Carton. I've been a Carton fan since his 7-star form, so TKO Carton for this for sure. Grab that 3,000 lapis and Master's Crown, which is still very slow for global. I find we still don't get enough of them. There was 1 or 2 in the story for people who didn't know and they're not caught up with the story yet. So I think. I hope we get more crowns soon, because by the time we want to upgrade something, it's going to be useless at this space.
Oh, yeah. Have you actually used any of your crowns on global yet, or are you still hoarding them all?
No, I learned a long time ago just to follow your example, so I'm waiting on you.
Oh, geez. If you're waiting on me to use crowns, you might be sitting there. You might be sitting there with like 45 crowns in the backpack and still never spent one. That's how I deal with those limited stuff.
I mean, probably, but like you pointed out, there's not much use to actually use them right now. But that's the problem. It's because we don't get enough of them.
It's true. Also, because they skip the good crown upgrades. You know, we get the garbage ones like this, like Guardian Blade Charlotte, trash tier crown upgrades. We skip the actual freaking good ones, like Physalis and Madame Adele. They had great crown upgrades, and they were skipped. Like, give me a break. Why did they skip the
I
good
don't
stuff?
understand for Physalis. I don't understand because we got her new form. So with crown upgrades and plus the new version, it would have been fun to maybe bounce between the two. Plus the fact that now there's the new version's gun that can be used on the old one as well, things like that. So I don't understand why they skipped Physalis. Adele either, because I mean I'm a big fan of her storyline as a character, and it would have been nice as a little revival of her for people who want to use her. So I don't understand for her either, but mainly for Physalis. I don't know why they skipped.
Yeah, hers. For those that don't know, Physalis' crown upgrades in JP. They made her LB a 300x modifier, and you might be wondering, wait, you just threw a fit because 280 seemed too low for you, but you'd crown for a 300x. Well, keep in mind, Physalis' crown updates are like 4 or 5 months late at this point. 300x LB was a really big deal if Physalis had gotten her crowns on time. Now that they're so late, they're not so big of a deal. But even then, like a 4-month-old out-of-date crown upgrade was still better than this junk. This is 280 that came way later after Physalis, and Physalis got 300. Like, anyway.
Another thing is, I mean, Physalis is another mage that could still be usable with that 300x mod.
And then the final upgrade, or the final upgrade, the final news is Dark Visions. So we are getting Dark Visions. They're probably never going to change this. I'm going to keep complaining about it. I hate the way they delay this stuff. Like, why can't you just give it to us all on day one, or at the very least, most of it on day one, the final boss on day whatever. But they split it 3 times. It's so frustrating because I hate that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's one of my complaints as well. It should hit the weekend. The moment Saturday hits at the latest.
Exactly.
Because to do everything, because most people are off on weekends.
I know, and the way they do it, we literally have a single weekend to do this. I mean, of course, you have the week as well, but a lot of players are busy during the week and don't have time to sit down and do Dark Visions. But the way the Global spreads this out, you only have literally one weekend during the event to work on Dark Visions. The first weekend of the event is completely wasted because the only fight that matters starts up the next week. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I hate it.
I agree. But like you said earlier, it is getting an upgrade because we finally have the lapis with it.
We do. I'm actually not super happy about this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But we are getting the lapis upgrade, which, just at face value is wonderful. Lapis is great. Everyone loves it. I will point out as well, we are not getting the dark matter upgrade. On JP, a long time ago, they upgraded dark matter to 2,000 for the higher ranks. On Global, we still don't have that. They're finally upgrading the lapis rewards, but we still don't have the dark matter upgrades. This is super frustrating.
I don't understand that. I did notice that as well earlier, and I wanted to mention it when you did, which you just did. I don't understand why they're doing it. Like, they didn't upgrade the dark matter with it. That blows my mind.
I know. And for some players, that have been playing for the entire time since, like, Dark Vision started, 2-3 years ago, they're like, well, we don't really need much more dark matter. Sure, for veterans, that's mostly true. This is more of a problem for the newer or the casual or the returning players that want to catch up. Only getting, like, a newer player is going to get maybe, like, 500 a month. 500 Dark Visions or Dark Matter per month is going to take them, like, a year to make a single weapon at max rank. This is just not good. That's why JP upgraded it to, make players be able to catch up. And because at this point, there's, like, 9 weapons at plus 10 or something. Like, to make all of them, I don't know how many, but that would take years of farming at the current rate. It would still take a long time even at the JP upgraded dark matter amounts, but it would take a lot less than it would take on Global for a player to catch up. That's
a third of the time. Exactly. It's a third of the time, literally. And I mean, I'm one of the people that like to upgrade everything. You pick and choose, so that there's a difference there too. Because I like to upgrade everything, something new that I don't expect might come out, and I'm like, I don't have the dark matter anymore.
Yep. And as far as the lapis rewards, I'll explain the reason I say I don't really like this. It's because of what it does to the community, and I don't really like that at all. For example, the current Clash of Wills rank 1 is technically shareable, and many players are sharing rank 1. As a result of this, there has been tons and tons of help and sharing, and the top players are giving everyone their ideas. A player comes into the the Clash of Wills chat and like, I'm really close to capping, I can't do it. And players that have already gotten to rank 1 would be like, well, change this and you can get rank 1 as well. It's just a nice, helpful, sharing community. On the other hand, when this is like one person is sharing 50,000 lapis, a lot of players that are usually helpful all of a sudden turn into like jerks. They're like, I'm going to either tell you nothing, I'm going to hide my strategies, or I'm going to lie to players and try to mislead them, which is like the worst of the worst. I don't do this. I still share my strategies. I lose rank. I'm fine with it. And again, this is not really the player's fault because they kind of are incentivized to hide their strategies. This is the fault of the developers by creating this hostile environment that makes the players turn against each other. I don't like that. I really don't. I like it when everyone is helping each other. Everyone is helpful. It makes the event more fun. It makes the community just come together. This makes the community push each other away because it's like player against another player. What do you think, Elms? Do you think this is like a problem? Do you think that it's fine? It should be cutthroat competitive, or how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm glad that there is lapis involved in DV. However, I totally agree with your statement, and it is the developer's fault. But I mean, they proved that they can kind of adjust things like they did for this cow that just passed. That they can make it slightly cappable or give an opportunity for more people to share a rank. So if that happens with DV, then I'm fine with it, absolutely. If not, it's really up to the people as well to fix developers' mistakes and still help each other out. I mean, like you said, you do help people out. And there are a few other streamers as well that still do it. So we'll see what happens as an end result. I mean, this just started for Global. So we'll have to see, but I totally agree with your statement. But I personally am happy that there's that extra reward rather than the really boring and outdated rewards that we're getting.
Yeah, it is good to increase the rewards. I agree. It's just like a kind of like a double-edged sword. Like you increase the reward, but you kind of make players not want to help each other by doing so. And I just want to like put it out there that I am friends with a lot of the players that usually score really, really high and put out videos. I don't want to name anyone specifically in the video to call them out because they may or may not choose to make videos for a competitive event like this. But again, I don't blame the players if they choose to hide their strategy. That's completely their choice. They can do it. Not a problem. I totally understand why they would want to. I think the fault lies on the developers for creating this environment. So if any players choose to hide strategies during this, again, I do not blame them. I'm not calling them out. I personally will be showing my best clear. I'll record it. I'll put a video. If I lose rank because of it, so be it. It's not a fine. That's my personal decision. So I just don't want to like make it seem like I'm calling out other players that may or may not continue to post videos next event. That is completely within the player's choice. That is not their fault that this environment has been created.
Okay, one more thing I wanted to point out with the upgraded awards is that you get 10 UOC tickets up to rank 1000, and you get full STMR Moogle up to rank 100 now.
STMR Moogle. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. These, at this point, like, UOC tickets and STMR tickets, like, they're great. I love them. I barely ever spend them, so I don't even look at them.
Yeah, you don't spend them, but again, I spend a lot, and I chase a lot of things. So for me, that's it's an extra added reward, which is cool. That if I don't rank 1 because of whatever reason, at least now I have a chance to get an STMR.
Mm-hmm. And the final thing we're getting upgraded is Dark Vision's weapon. So the fist is going to rank 10 or 11. 1 plus 10 is 11. And then the Dark Rising Sun is going to plus 11. The fist is useful pretty often. I'll usually put this on cartons offhand, which is great. And then the Dark Rising Sun, for the most part, has been a worthless weapon. But now that we have Tiana, maybe someone might want it. I don't know. Probably not. There's really not really any throwing dual wielders currently in the meta. Maybe in the future. But yeah. I will point out that we are still missing the rank 12 weapons. We have none of them. At this point, JP had just about all of them at rank 12, which is the like 295 attack power stuff or magic power for the magic stuff. Still missing on global. That's, I complained about it before, complained about it again. I wish we would get them. We don't have them. Blah.
Again, we just talked about it a second ago. I use my dark matter a lot, and I don't have any to upgrade these ones, and I really want to upgrade the fist because I'm a huge fan of pugilist characters.
Yeah, it's really good for Carton. If Carton's not using a killer weapon, then his like best in slot, if he's a true dual wield build, is the Dragon Fist from Legend of Mana, and then the offhand Dark Vision's Fist, which is now getting better. So that's actually a great upgrade.
Yep.
That's pretty much it for the event, the news. That was pretty long video, a whole lot of news to cover. So anything you want to say, Elms, before we end it?
No, I'm still I'm very active on the community posts with Gumi directly, and I really hope that they still have to put an extra effort for global. I find hype things up a bit more, and I hope at some point they listen to your news, and because you do bring it up a lot as well. Just they need to do a little bit effort to bring a bit more hype to the community.
All right. Well, I will see you guys on Thursday for Dark Visions, Boss Rush, and most likely some Taivas polls from me. I'm going to try for him. At the very least, I'm going to try for EX2. Whether EX3 or not completely depends how the polls go. So, see you guys then.